How to break free from dopamine addiction. Do you find yourself constantly craving certain activities like social media, gaming, or eating junk food, and feeling a strong urge to engage in them? Do you often spend more time than planned on these activities, losing track of time or neglecting other tasks? Do you feel restless, anxious, or irritable when you can't engage in these activities? Have you noticed that you need to increase the intensity or frequency of the activity to feel the same pleasure? Have you ever neglected important responsibilities at work, school, or home because you were too focused on the dopamine-inducing activity? If you answer yes to these questions, it could indicate that dopamine addiction is impacting your life. Keep watching Unschooled Genius for the next 5 minutes or so to uncover answers and solutions to your most common questions about dopamine addiction. Dopamine is a brain chemical responsible for pleasure, mood regulation, and motivation. Known as the feel-good neurotransmitter, it's released when we engage in rewarding activities like eating, exercising, or scrolling through social media. While dopamine is essential, overstimulation of the brain's reward system can lead to what experts call dopamine addiction. For example, a person wakes up each morning and immediately checks their phone for notifications, scrolling through social media for an hour before even getting out of bed. Throughout the day, they feel the urge to constantly check for likes, comments, or new posts. The anticipation of each notification triggers dopamine releases, reinforcing the behavior. Even during work, meetings, or conversations with friends, they find it hard to resist the pull of social media, frequently checking their phone for updates. When away from it, they feel restless or anxious, craving the quick dopamine rush that comes with scrolling or seeing new notifications. At night, they may spend hours mindlessly browsing their feed, struggling to put the phone down and losing sleep. Over time, their brain becomes dependent on the constant stimulation, a clear sign of dopamine addiction as they increasingly rely on social media to feel pleasure or fulfillment. What is dopamine? Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that carries signals between nerve cells. Its main role is to create feelings of pleasure and reward, motivating us to repeat actions like eating or socializing, which are essential for survival. However, in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world, constant stimulation of the reward system can lead to unhealthy patterns as the brain becomes hooked on the dopamine rush. What is dopamine addiction? Dopamine addiction is not a formally recognized medical condition, but it's becoming a topic of concern among psychologists. According to Dr. Anna Lemke, a psychiatrist, modern society offers many ways to trigger dopamine, such as social media or fast food, creating a cycle where people constantly seek out new rewards. Rather than being addicted to dopamine itself, people become addicted to the activities or substances that release it. Over time, the brain needs more frequent or intense stimulation to achieve the same pleasure, creating compulsive behaviors similar to addiction. Sources of dopamine highs. Many everyday activities lead to dopamine highs, such as social media. Each like or comment on a post triggers dopamine, making social media highly addictive. Video games, progressing through levels or winning rewards, creates a dopamine release, often leading to long gaming sessions. Junk food. Foods high in sugar or fat can cause dopamine surges, making them hard to resist and leading to overeating. Drugs and alcohol. Substances like cocaine or alcohol create extreme dopamine bursts, leading to addiction. Binge watching. Watching multiple episodes of a show creates a reward cycle that keeps viewers engaged for hours. While these activities can be enjoyable, overindulgence can lead to addiction-like behaviors. Effects of imbalanced dopamine levels. An imbalance in dopamine, whether too much or too little, can seriously affect mental health. High dopamine levels can cause impulsive behaviors and anxiety, while low dopamine is linked to depression and fatigue. Chronic overstimulation can desensitize the brain, making everyday pleasures less satisfying. Connection to neurological conditions. Dopamine imbalance is linked to conditions like ADHD, where individuals often have lower dopamine levels. Dr. Nora Volkoff, an addiction researcher, notes that people with ADHD may develop addictive behaviors as their brains seek out stimulation. Treatment options for dopamine addiction. The good news is that dopamine addiction can be managed. Treatment options include behavioral therapy. Therapists work with individuals to challenge negative thoughts and replace harmful behaviors with healthier coping mechanisms. For example, if someone plays video games to escape stress, cognitive behavioral therapy could help them develop healthier stress relief strategies like physical exercise or creative hobbies. Mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness involves being fully present and aware of your thoughts, feelings, and environment without judgment. It helps individuals notice when they're falling into compulsive behaviors before they act on them. Meditation, often paired with mindfulness, is a tool that can calm the mind and reduce the intensity of cravings. Meditation encourages relaxation, helping to break the habit of seeking instant rewards. Dopamine detox. A dopamine detox involves taking intentional breaks from activities that overstimulate the brain's reward system, such as social media, gaming, or binge-watching. The idea is to reduce dependency on instant gratification by avoiding these activities for a set period, hours, days, or even weeks, allowing the brain to reset and rebalance. During a detox, individuals engage in more grounding and slower-paced activities like reading, walking in nature, or journaling. These alternatives help recalibrate the brain so that everyday experiences, which usually release moderate levels of dopamine, become more enjoyable again. Healthy habits. Regular exercise, proper sleep, and a balanced diet naturally boost dopamine levels in a healthier way. Dopamine addiction might not be as widely recognized as other types of addiction, but its effects are real and can significantly impact lives. By understanding the signs and taking proactive steps, individuals can regain control, balance their brain's reward system, and find sustainable sources of happiness. Remember, the goal is not to eliminate dopamine, but to manage it in a healthy and balanced way. Let me know which tips work for you, or if you have any that I didn't mention in the comments below. Don't forget to share your love and appreciation by liking, commenting, and subscribing. For many more topics on self-improvement, life hacks, and psychology, watch my other videos on Unschooled Genius. And remember, don't just watch the video. Take action. Become 1% better every day.